Doing well with money has little to do with how smart you are and a lot to do with how you behave. So, hello everyone, welcome to the audio bookshelf. Today I am here with a new book, The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. This book isn't about numbers, it's about mindset, behavior, and the way we think about money. Let's dive into its most powerful lessons that can truly change your financial life. So, lesson number 1, wealth is behavior, not the intelligence. So, as Morgan Housel says, doing well with money has little to do with how smart you are and a lot to do with how you behave. We often assume that people who are wealthy are either financial geniuses or born lucky. But Housel flips this idea on its head. He argues that financial success depends far more on your behavior than your IQ. Think about it. There are investment bankers with fancy degrees who go broke and school teachers who retire as millionaires. Why? Because intelligence doesn't protect you from greed, impatience, or fear. But the right behavior, discipline, patience, humility almost always leads to the wealth. Take the famous example of Ronald Reagan, a janitor and a gas station attendant who never earned a huge salary. Yet, when he died, he left behind an $8 million fortune. How? Not through high-paying jobs or insider knowledge, but simply by living frugally, saving consistently, and investing for the long term. On the flip side, we have stories of celebrities and lottery winners who earn millions but go bankrupt. Not because they were stupid, but because their behavior with money was reckless. The lesson here is simple but powerful. Good behavior beats high intelligence in building wealth. It's not about predicting the stock market or chasing risky investments. It's about developing financial habits like saving regularly, avoiding debt traps, and keeping emotions under control. In the end, money management is less about numbers on calculator and more about controlling the person you see in the mirror. So, lesson number 2. Luck, risk, and the role of time in money. When it comes to wealth, we often look at successful people and think, they must have been brilliant, correct? But the truth is, behind every financial success or failure lies a mix of luck, risk, and timing. Take Bill Gates as an example. Yes, he was incredibly smart and hardworking, but luck played a huge role in his success. He was one of the few teenagers in the 1970s who had access to a computer at Lakeside School, something extremely rare back then. That opportunity gave him a head start that most others never had. On the other hand, think about Kent Evans, who was the classmate of Bill Gates, who was just as talented and ambitious as Bill Gates. But sadly, he died in a mountaineering accident before he could show the world his brilliance. That's risk. This doesn't mean success is only about luck or failure is only about bad luck. It means we should stay humble when things go well and stay compassionate when others struggle. Because circumstances beyond our control often shape outcomes more than pure skill. The same applies to investing. Sometimes you will make money not because you were smart, but because you got lucky with timing. Other times you might lose money even though you made all the right decisions, because risk showed up. The key lesson over here is respect both luck and risk. Don't get arrogant in success and don't beat yourself up in failures. What matters most is staying in the game long enough for time to work in your favor. Wealth isn't built in one lucky moment. It's built over decades of surviving risk and letting compounding do its magic. Lesson number 3. Saving matters more than earning. When most people think of getting rich, they immediately think of earning more. A bigger salary, a high-paying job, or striking gold with an investment. But Housel reminds us that true wealth isn't about how much you make, it's about how much you keep. I'll give a reality check. A person earning 2 lakh rupees per month and spending 1,90,000 is less wealthy than someone earning 50,000 and saving half of it. A flashy car, an expensive watch, or a giant house often signals spending, not the wealth. Real wealth is invisible. It's in the savings account, the investments, and the emergency funds. Think of celebrities and athletes who earn millions but go bankrupt. Their problem isn't the income, it's their spending. On the other hand, many ordinary people quietly build fortunes by living below their means and investing consistently. A famous story Housel shares is of people who appear rich versus people who truly are wealthy. The rich show off their money, the wealthy let their money work silently in the background. The lesson here, my friends, is simple and powerful. You don't need a huge income to build wealth. You just need discipline to save and patience to let it grow. And saving isn't just about money, it's about freedom, it's the ability to say no to a toxic job, to handle an emergency without panic, and to retire on your own terms. So next time you feel pressured to look rich, remember, wealth is quiet, spending shows up, but saving stays hidden, and that's where true power lies. Lesson number 4: the power of long-term thinking and compounding. One of the most underrated forces in finance and in life is time. Compounding doesn't just add up, it multiplies. But here's the catch: you only see its magic if you stay patient long enough. Take Warren Buffett, one of the richest men in the world. Yes, he's a brilliant investor, but the real secret is that he started investing as a child and never stopped. Nearly $80 billion of his wealth came after his 65th birthday. That's the compounding effect. Small steady returns for decades turning into something massive. The same works outside money too. Reading a few pages a day compounds into knowledge over years. Exercising regularly compounds into health and strength. Nurturing relationships compounds into dream, trust, and happiness. The problem is, most people quit too early. They expect instant results, and when they don't see them, they just give it up. But compounding works slowly, quietly, and then suddenly all at once. The lesson is clear. Biggest returns don't come from genius decisions. They come from consistent, ordinary actions repeated over the time. So whether it's saving, learning, or building habits, don't underestimate the long game. Stay invested, stay consistent, and let time do the heavy lifting. So here we come to the last lesson of our video. That is lesson number 5. Enough. Defining wealth on your own terms. The last lesson is simple but profound. Know what enough is. Many people fall into the trap of always wanting more. More money, bigger houses, flashier cars, and whatnot. But chasing endless wealth can lead to stress, anxiety, and poor decisions. Housel argues that true wealth isn't measured by comparison. It's measured by what you actually need to live a fulfilling life. For example, someone might earn 50 lakh per year but still feel poor because their neighbor has 60 lakh rupees. Another person earning 10 lakh feels wealthy because they control their life, can take time off, and have financial security. Defining enough is about freedom and contentment, not about showing off or keeping up with others. It's about deciding what makes you feel safe and satisfied, and not letting greed drive your decisions. So from Abu's example, I'll tell you 3 takeaways. First, know your financial limits and don't chase endless wealth blindly. Second, avoid inflation lifestyle. That is, just because you earn more doesn't mean you need to spend more. Third, use money to gain control over your time, which is the real currency of life. In the end, financial independence isn't just about numbers in the bank. It's about peace of mind, freedom, and living life in your own terms. And that's a wrap on the psychology of money. If these lessons added value to your life, make sure you subscribe Audio Bookshelf, like this video, and share it with someone who needs it. And comment below which lesson resonated with you the most. See you in the next video.